Good afternoon. um, good afternoon. Good evening, my brothers and sisters. My Eritrean friends and my compatriots, my country people. My country people. It's been a while since I haven't released a kind of clip because I've been very busy, man. And sometimes when you do a lot of mindfulness, you try to kind of link the past historical books that you read, all this database, data's everywhere, this person everywhere, and you try to, well, when I say you, you try to kind of link to what is happening now, so all these years, 24, 25 odd years, I've been agitating, training, especially we are as Eritreans, we are nation, new. We're not new people. We're ancient people, but in terms of this idea of this nationalist consciousness, we are new. So we never knew all this systematic kind of all this worlded kind of global competitors, and how they try to manipulate and rule us, to the point that they were using us as slaves, my friend, intellectual slaves. So all these years we were fighting for somebody else's wars, not our life, okay? So again, this gentleman, man, I just always, I thank him so much. Dr. Abaisa Gabriel, as you know him, these books, it's something that influenced me a lot. All his books are translation of the Italian books written by the Italian colonizers, Conto Rossini and Alberto Palero and all these Italian colonizers, intellectuals, generals, some of them, military leaders, anthropologists, social scientists, social engineers, and agriculturists, ideologists, all after, so the whole idea was about this fascism, you got this fish kind of all these people from during the ancient Roman times, so they had this idea that you put all these fishes, fascists, I don't know how they call it. That's how the name that came, this fascism, okay? So it's like this broom, when you got all these different palm leaves and try to assemble them together, we got our version in Tigrinya called Mado. Okay, you assemble all these straws and you create that kind of broom kind of thing. Then you stir all your barley and everything when you are roasting them. Okay, it's the same thing with fash thing. When all these dispersed people, part of the community from everywhere, from villages, from Ras Kesa to Ras Gomora, are near Asap, southern part of Eritrea, the last extreme of Eritrea, southern part, and the north extreme, Ras Kesa, okay? So all these people, the educated, the illiterate, the farmer, the shepherd, and the clergy, everyone, you assemble them together like this fascism, okay? That's how the idea was taken. So you create the lovely called nation Eritrea, my friend, so you try to make it so as powerful as the ancient Roman people, powerful nation, okay? This is ours, okay? But that was the Italian vision. So this Duce, Mussolini Duce, he knew all this Roman Italian people, how they were kind of being rotten, spoiled so much, they don't want to work. So these are people, bourgeois people living in the city. They don't want to do any hard work, what they want is just six, my friend, pump in the city, they want to live really beautiful life in Venice and in Rome and Palermo and all this Florence, my friend. All they can think of is just riding all their gondola and They just mess up with every woman and the woman with every man kind of thing. And they want the life, my friend. A luxury life. Easy life, urban life, city life, So you got all these Venice merchants, my friend. You got all this navigation, age of discovery, bringing all the spices from the Far East, China, India, everywhere, from Iran and Afghanistan, everywhere. They bring all these silks from China, everything, my friend. These are merchants, merchant people, from the time of Marco Polo, my friend. Okay, the time he went to Iran and found out about this assassin kind of idea. All these people, kamikaze people, people ready to die, my friend, burn themselves, suicidal. That was how the idea was taken in the assassins kind of principle, all these ancient Iranians, so they lock them in a mountain, with all these valleys and beautiful garden, women, my friend. So they make them live in that fantasy dream about the woman. So they make them literally machines, human machines, okay? So they make them to wars everywhere. They tell them, hey, my friend, if you will do war, you're gonna get one of these paradise women. So that's how this assassin idea came. All this kamikaze, all this Second World War Japanese people, flying all their aeroplanes to Pearl Harbor in USA, it's a suicidal, okay? So that was how the idea was taken from all these ancient times. The first person who documented this was Marco Polo after visiting Iran, Persia. Okay, so these Italian Venice merchants, all these rich people, they want to live life, my friend. Easy life. They don't want to farm. They don't want to toil the land, my friend. They don't want to do shepherding, they don't want to till the land and plow and everything, my friend. They want to live easy life in their city, my friend. Lovely villa, luxury life. So I just want to add humor just to make my point, okay? So all these people, the Italian colonists, like Duce Mussolini, so they wanted all this southern part of Italian, hardworking people, from the village areas, from Sicily and all that kind of area, okay? So they wanted to bring all these people, really hardworking people, very starting very hard, my friend, big kind of muscle, my friend. So they wanted to bring all these people to Eritrea, take over all our farms from our, our agrarian peasantry and farmers, take over all their lands and give to these people. So these people were extremely very hard people, hard-working people. They came from all this mountain area, so much densely populated, my friend, living in the Cromwell Mountain area in Italy. So much people. So when they came to Eritrea, lush country, green, beautiful, tropical weather, lovely, all the women, my friend. Paradise, my friend, So they wanted to marry all these women and have so much kids, So that was the vision, okay? All this rotten society in Italy who are always living in Italy by eating too much cake and wine and everything, my friend. They wine every night with their women and all that kind of stuff, my friend. So these were people, a rotten society, they want to create that ancient Roman hardworking people, my friend, always rooted, grounded with the agriculture, with the land, So they brought all these Sicilian people, from South Italy to Eritrea, make them marry all the Eritrean women by force, my friend. 5, 6, 12 kids, my friend. So they wanted to take over. I think, how many was it? Is it 50,000 Italians? No, 80,000. I think 120 or 80,000 Italians during that time. They brought all these people. So his idea was to create all this fascist idea. They wanted to create a new Rome, Grande Roman Empire in the past, right? So that's the whole idea about fascism, okay? All these people, give them all this Eritrean women, my friend. You change the whole demographics area. Grande Italia and Africa, my friend. Link it to the ancient Byzantine Eritrea that we had in the past in our history. Grand Roma in Africa. I think they did it to some extent, okay? So you got all these people, mixed race, Italian, Eritrean kids, a lot of them, my friend, So they wanted to wipe out all people in Eritrea and bring all these people who work so hard. Then these people were getting bankrupt as well, you know, they were decaying society because they wanted to live in Roma, my friend. Piccolo Roma is more, they can have everything. Driving all their Opel Balilla, all that kind of stuff, my friend. So they shift from all this agrarian, agriculture-based kind of like, you know, all this agricultural society into new another, because that's the whole thing. People, they get kind of corrupted and they decay, okay? So that's the same thing in Europe, my friend. All the European decaying, you know, aging the society, okay? So that was the whole idea about fascism, okay? Fash all these people, put them together as one broom. You link them together with a very strong fascist leader like Mussolini, working for Umberto Emanuele. That's Grande Empire, Grand Roma, Grande Italia. Okay? So bringing all this our idea, we as electrons, you know, or because it took me so many years to understand everything, like, you know, just to put it into context. We people always we've been suffocated, never speak our history, you know, all this Judaism, Christianity, everything we have. We electrons, we're not making our mark in the whole world. We never existed, we were being suffocated, okay? So this old idea, historical books, I mean, it took me 25 years, 24 years trying to. So this was about all these people, these colonists, Alberto Palero, okay, controlling all these people, ideologies people, you know, there's people with a vision trying to link all this grand Roman Empire back to new world, okay? So they did all this political incalculation of an industrial nation in Eritrea. They created that little Piccolo Roma, Italia, Grande in Africa, okay? We were supposed to be wiped out, create a new society, okay? This is called social engineering, okay? So all this, our history, my friend, we've been going through a lot of upheavals, my friend. Like this, you go this wave, you know, all this, like, you know, thunder, you know, we've been psychological, we've been terrorized for so many years after all this border conflict, everything, like, you know, we made it, my friend. We made it, okay? That's we, electrons, okay? So I have a live show of all this irrigation training, my friend, transformation of our mind setting, our thinking, my friend, that new electron, supreme volcano kind of fire, my friend, okay? So all these theoretical aspects of these books that are translated, you know, into English, you know, training our kids, our brothers and sisters everywhere. And you got all these refugees crisis, all these electronics trekking to Israel to claim all the ancient kind of people that we were saying, like we are Jewish, all that kind of stuff. My friend, okay? We are electronics, okay? We might have some idea about Judaism, Islam, and all this Judaism, all this Arabism, Islam, all this Italian. They want the resource, my friend. Resource human, slaves. They want the woman, my friend. They don't want the men. So that they can produce a lot of kids. Jewish, you got all this Orthodoxy, Jewish in Israel, all this long bearded. Their job is just only to make love and have a lot of kids, my friend. Simple. Okay? So they wanted the resources, people resources, slaves. The same thing in Arabism, Islam, the same thing. Italian Roma, the same thing. But we don't talk ours, okay? This is our life, okay? So all these theoretical perspectives that we have about all this Judaism, okay? Telling us, hey, we are like, we don't like terrorists, you know, this, we like electrons because they are Jewish, they are Christians, it's a game, they want resources, slaves. The same way all these Judaic people, they were traders, very famous traders, my friend. They got the same mentality like the Nazis, my friend, okay? So these people in the ancient Andalusia, Spain, these Jewish people, they were trading all Christians from Czech Republic, all this from Prague area, Central Europe, East Europe, okay, taking them as slaves to Andalusia, okay, because all this Spanish, Arab kind of Andalusia that time, they didn't like Christians, so they were taking them as slaves, okay. So these Jewish people being in the middle, they're very smart, my friend. They were taking all these Christians from Europe, Central Europe, as slaves, trade commodity to Andualis, all this Cobra, all that kind of stuff, in Andualis. And from there, they were bringing Muslims to the Central Europe in Prague, okay? Both ways, my friend, okay? They take and they give. So they were the middleman, my friend. Traders, they are the same, they want to use us, the same thing, my friend. You go, all this, we Eritreans saying, like, we are race of Binyam, from Judah. We came from Dembia, Quara, You got all this, was so this Jewish phase, they say we came from Dembia, from Quara, from Ethiopia, So all these Jewish people, Israel, they took all the Jewish people from that area and they made them slaves in Israel, okay? So they wanted to enslave us intellectually. They always tell you, we don't like the terrorism, my friend. We don't have any terrorism, my friend. What we have is our land. The whole idea is they wanted to get inside us, in between us. So they divide, conquer, and take our land, our sea, our farms, my friend, our paradise land. And little by little, they wanted to create that little Palestine the same way they came from all this Zionist movement from Germany, Nazi, from Switzerland, they were buying all these farms in Palestine, and now they took over. They wanted the same thing in Eritrea as well, So they tell you, hey, we don't like it, these terrorists, my friend, okay? So they come there, okay? They pretend as if they are fighting for terrorism. As a matter of fact, they work with all these Arabs, my friend, these rich billionaires, my friend. They work hand in hand, okay? So at last, they take over. They get rid of they take all the women. They multiply and produce so many kids the same way like all these Italian Romans did, all this mulatto kids. No, this mulatto is not negative word, my friend. That's what they call it in Europeans, okay? So they want to create that mixed race with Judaism ideology, and they take over the whole thing. They don't care about the men. They want all the women to produce so many kids, like all this orthodoxy, all that kind of long beard, My friend, we not whalers, my friend. You got all this whaling building in Israel, my friend. Sometimes I get so much depressed when I see all these Arab countries, so desert, my friend, desolate, dead, sand, Israel, all this nation dead, my friend. It's really, in fact, depressing to see all this imagery, all these people wailing at the wailing more, my friend. We are Eritrean Africans. We don't wail. We always down with happiness, my friend. We don't wail. We scream with happiness and music, okay? We don't whalers. We don't go to that. I don't take all this nonsense kind of trying to use us as slaves, okay, for the tourist economy of their Al-Aqsa or their in Israel and in Saudi Arabia and in Egypt, my friend. That's our paradise, our nation, my friend, okay? As soon as we are going from our land, we don't have nothing else, my friend. The Jewish people, they want to make us slaves. The Arabs, they want to make us slaves. All of them, okay? So this is our story, okay? So all this theoretical, I don't want to talk too much, okay? So all these theoretical aspects of all this, so many years research, my friend, our ideas, we want to get rid of them from our mind, from our intellectual slavery, my friend. That's slavery, okay? You always just worship them. You take all everything that they want from your land. And you tell them, yeah, I'm a Jewish man, we are Eritreans, we are Africans, okay? So the Atlas was about our development, okay? Development and progress. So now what you go is all this irrigation, my friend. You go all this from Amazon, my friend. You take the whole system of your whole land in my village, but in 10,000 villages in Eritrea, all the farms, my friend. Self-sufficiency, you go all the irrigation, the gravity from your barrel, everything, my friend, is automated. Your whole land, it just takes it costs you 25 pounds from Amazon. You send it to your village, you manage it from London, from Paris, from Addis Ababa, from Asmara, from Accra, from New York, from Washington. You don't need all the Israeli irrigated, drip irrigated, all that kind of stuff, my friend. You do it yourself. Automated, my friend, okay? Automated. So this development, okay? So we wiped out all this intellectual slavery, okay? We became our service. We as Eritreans, Africans, my friend, okay? As beautiful people, my friend. We took control of our mind, because it's been hacked for so many centuries. We took hold of it. We took out all this slavery mentality, all that kind of stuff, my friend. Now into our land development, our mind development, intellectual development, my friend. So we do drip irrigation, my friend, automated, from the internet. Every rain comes in our village, on all the mountains. In the mountains, everything, my friend, we use all the landscape, panoramic landscape, channel it into one place, reservoir. Here you go, my friend. You connect it with the drip irrigation. You don't do nothing. You automate it. You time it with a timer. It does it by itself. No need for top universities in Ben Gurion or Weizmann in Israel or in London or Paris or America. No, my friend. We created a university development, okay? Self-sustaining, beautiful country, my friend. Okay? I think those of you Eritreans, young people, I think you should go to Eritrea and visit the country, how beautiful it is, my friend. I'm really extremely very fanatic. Like, I've been fighting all these years, my friend, because I don't want my kids to get lost and get into this maze of clever people, intellectual slavery, being hacked. Hope they're going to be multi-billionaires in America and London. But as a matter of fact, they're going to be slaves and cast away in their throne. Like, when they lose their money, they don't have anywhere to go to because they've been hacked. Okay? So, we are multi-billionaires, my friend. Okay? All our looks is money, my friend. You just buy money, everything with our looks, with our land, everything. Okay? So that was the whole idea. Don't go to Israel, don't go to Saudi Arabia, don't go to Egypt, all that kind of stuff. Don't buy all this terrorism, all that kind of stuff. Like, it's just rubbish. We don't have any terrorism, my friend. Terrorism is your idea. Take it to yourself, okay? We live in a very peaceful nation. There is no terrorism whatsoever, my friend. Terrorism idea is about all these Jewish people, all these Europeans. The whole idea is they try to create so much enemies. So Israel is really little space, my friend, surrounded by billions of enemies. I wouldn't even dare to go there and visit that country, my friend. The whole idea is just they create big superhero fighter, surrounded by enemies. So we, as Eritreans, if we're going to produce our farms and everything from sea, we need friends, my friend, to sell to. Okay? We don't need enemies, my friend. We don't have to believe in armaments, our brains, our army. Peace, friendship, and brotherhood, okay? Then we produce, we sell everyone, all our brothers and sisters in the whole world, 8 billion. Okay? Brothers and sisters. We don't need no terrorism, idea, clothes, all that. It's Israeli disease. Okay? Arabs disease, European disease. We don't have no terrorism. In my village, in our country, my friend, all this, we call Malcholot, all this blessing water you go to. The Muslim and the Christians, we go to the same place, my friend. Okay? We, as Christians, we date Muslim women, and the Muslim women, they date Christians, and the same thing. We don't have no such thing, my friend, okay? Whole idea is clever idea. They want to grab all these Muslim women to take to themselves using clothes called terrorism. Hey, that man is terrorism. That woman belongs to me because her husband is a terrorist, So they take her and they make so much kids, okay? Very clever people, okay? So the whole idea today is, my friend, the other one was like, our area in Eritrea is so much mountainous, okay? Transportation, teleferica, all that kind of like cable cars. It's really easy, simple, using all these steel. My friend has got this rope, and you cable, my friend, using the driller, my friend, okay? You create a boat using your driller. To dig a land, you use the driller, okay? To create a car, you use the driller. To create all that trawler, teleferica, cable car, use a driller. Simple development, okay? So we control our mind, our brain, our land, our sea, our identity, my friend, our brain, our way of thinking, our self-confidence, okay? With nobody coming from US or Europe telling us like Democrats or that, hey, you for yourself, my friend. That's unexported. We got our own. Terrorism or that, hey, we don't have it, my friend. It's for you, okay? Imagine there are more Muslims in London, in America, than in Arab countries, okay? Using that terrorism to get someone doesn't make sense, is it? Very clever people, okay? So the whole idea is just to get inside us divide and rule, take our land for themselves, and we become slaves, okay? So it's not gonna happen, okay? So this is our self-development, all our mountains, my friend. If you go all the rain harvesting, you do irrigation, we don't even need the elephant kind of projects like a big dam. We don't need more. Because we've been always as democratic people, republics, okay? Every household has got its own garden, self-sustaining agriculture, food, everything, my friend. The chicken, the fish, everything you pond, swimming pool, you villa, everything. Farm. If you're going to export, then you need dam, then you export as a nation, okay? That's for you economy, for export to get foreign currency. But as a for your family, food, everything is self-sustaining using that drip irrigation. Automatic. You program it, you using a spreadsheet and you timer everything. It just waters everything by itself. Bloom and lush green forest in jungle country, okay? Number one. Transportation. You don't need that big truck, all that kind of like roads and everything. You use all this rail, this steel, what's it called, square tube kind of from the mountain, my friend. It doesn't take you even one day. You buy all the steel, you connect them, you transport all this stuff, you ship, you go with everything to export to Zula Aerofile, to Massawa, to Adulis, to Europe, to Middle East, to transport. It's simple, okay? No need, okay? So we use our strategical mountain. It's a wealth, my friend, because it makes your life easier, you know, by sliding all your cable car. Boom! Within half an hour, it's in Massawa. You export, okay? So this has been what I've been doing for so long. I feel really happy. I'm very successful on that. And all our ideology, mental slavery, illiteracy is dead. Now we are into development, okay? Now we're gonna jump into this called knowledge economy. We sell our services, okay? Our brain, our educational establishments, okay? The know-hows. So we are climbing the ladder to the top, okay? Okay, guys, you have a lovely day. Thank you very much. See ya.